Are you ready? Good. Okay. First thing first, would you make your cell phone silent, please? Thank you. I would like to announce that this is a regular open meeting of the third Laguna Hills Mutual Board of Directors, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. This is Tuesday, today, November 19th, 2024, 9:30 a.m. We are here at the Laguna Woods Village Community Center boardroom. Address is 24351 El Toro Road, Laguna Woods, California, 92637. Notice and agenda. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct a regular third board mutual board meeting in accordance with Civil Code 4930 and was hereby noticed in accordance with Civil Code 4920. As we establish quorum today, I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, Pledge of Allegiance, led by Treasury Director Craig Wade. Would you please?
Thank you. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Director Wayne. Now, before we start, I'd like to change the agenda. 5, chair report of chair. I'd like to make A, chair comment first, and then B, Laguna Woods City Council presentation by city manager. Is the city manager here?
This item is time specific at 10:15 a.m.
Okay. So we proceed as is, and then whenever he comes in, then we'll have him present. Okay. Now,
Yes, additionally, I did want to request if you guys could add the title under new business, election of officer, entertain a motion to open nominations, close nominations, and vote for second vice president.
I thought we were going to do that in closed
There's
session.
No, that's during open session, and there's a
Okay.
resolution
Okay.
to approve, but we have to formally add the opening and closing of nominations as well.
Where?
Under new business, it could be,
Where's the new business? Okay, yeah. Yeah, entertain motion to approve resolution for election of officer, yes. Okay,
perfect.
we got that. Now, item 3, approval agenda. Any motion to approve? Robert first and then Reza second. Any question or any objection? No? So we'll approve unanimous. Approval of minutes. A, October 15, regular board meeting. B, October 29. Can we do all at once or we got to do? Yeah. Okay. October 29, special open meeting. And then C, November 1st, agenda prep meeting. Any motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Reza move and second? Ruth, okay. Any discussion or objection of approval? No? So we consider that is unanimous. Item 5, report of chair. I guess they are not going to be here on time, so we'll continue and then
10:15.
10,
10:15.
Right, 10:15.
45 minutes.
Right, so we'll, yeah. Item 5, report of chair. They are all of our third mutual members at home and this boardroom. I'm honored to introduce our 3 new board of directors elected at third board special meeting on October 29th, 2024. First, Director Peggy Moore, Director Donna Rain Zosdak, Director Steve Parson. Would you please stand up and
Give them a hand.
yes, all of welcome aboard. Thank you. Donna is on trip, so I thought she was going to zoom in, but apparently she hasn't yet. So anyway, welcome all 3 new board members. Okay, thank you. Now, I thought we had stolen a great director from GRF, which is Director Donna Sostak. Now we lost a great director to GRF, so we swapped last week. So we now have to fill another director to our third board. Our schedule to fill the directorship is as follows. First, Monday, December 2nd, we'll open candidate nomination. Second, following Monday, December 9th, close a candidate nomination. And Thursday on same week, December 12th, third board will have another special board meeting to fill the vacancy. So any third mutual member who is interested in serving as a board member should apply for the candidacy. Thank you for listening. Now let's go back to our meeting. Since City Hall Council member is not here, I'd like to go to 6, open forum. Michaela, I thought we had a few.
Yes,
right?
we do have a few. First member is Chris Collins.
Okay.
Good morning, Chris Collins, 3306Q. I'm here with a report on the work of the foundation of Laguna Woods Village, which we do on behalf of residents who are experiencing temporary financial crisis. Thank you. Neighbors helping neighbors. Thank you. Your donations to the foundation of Laguna Woods Village make a difference in people's lives. Sometimes it's hard to envision how a donation can do this, but we have many thank you notes that we've received during the year that underscore how donations benefit and change lives. Donations permit the foundation to help with medical bills, grocery cards, hearing aids, dental care, electric and telephone costs, caregiver services, emergency response devices, and other matters when residents face financial emergencies. Sometimes the foundation helps in big ways and sometimes in small ways. So I want to read to you a few comments that we've received from thank you notes. I have to write to try to express how much the gift of a power chair is changing our life. My husband already feels more independent and capable of taking care of himself. I was so afraid that he would fall again. This will help him stay among the living longer. So thank you for the extra life we'll be able to share now. Thank you for the $100 gas card. It really came in handy when I was driving around for job interviews. Thank you for generous gas and food gift cards this month, which was so desperately needed. Thank you, Foundation of Laguna Woods Village. My new shoes and orthotics provide support and cushion for my feet, enabling me to walk comfortably and exercise to increase my strength and balance. As a grateful recipient of financial support for a dental procedure, I would like to express my appreciation. I've read about groups that make contributions to the foundation. Never did I think I would be considered to receive it. I feel blessed to live in a community that helps each other. I'm so grateful for the foundation. And finally, from a 95-year-old resident's son, about the emergency response device that was provided by the foundation. The ERD saved my mother's life. She had a stroke. She pressed the button to call for help, and everything just worked out the way it was supposed to. We are very thankful for the ERD. If you have any questions about assistance provided by the foundation, please contact Social Services at 949-597-4267 or the foundation of lagunawoods.com. For more information, you can always look at our website, which is the foundation of lagunawoodsvillage.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Next speaker is Mary Reiner.
Hello, my name is Mary Reiner. I live on the cul-de-sac 333 off San Amadeo. And I've lived here for 8 years, and up until recently, I've been very happy with how everything has gone, and you all have done very well in taking care of us. But recently, I had some things happen that have gotten me very discouraged. The street light in front of my house went out the beginning of August, and having had that happen before, I reported it to Edison, and it got taken care of. So this time I called Edison again, assuming they would come and fix my light. Well, they didn't come, and when they did come, I happened to see the Edison guy. He said, "Oh, I can't fix it. That's you have to call your organization. That's your light. We have nothing to do with it." So I called Resident Services, and they said they would take care of it. Well, that was like the middle of August. Here we are in November. The street light is still not fixed. I've been calling different times to Resident Services, and they always have some reason or some idea of why it can't happen. Finally, at one point, they told me, "Well, you can't call Edison. We have to call Edison." I didn't know that. You got to tell us things like that. So anyhow, they then said they would call Edison, but see, nothing still has happened. And it keeps going on, and it's very dangerous because if you walk out my front door at night, it is absolutely pitch black. I have a white dog that I like to walk, and there are coyotes in the area. And when they were doing the landscaping, there were holes around, so there's a danger of people falling and getting into holes and things. But, nobody seems to care. You just keep not doing anything. Well, hopefully, we can get this resolved. I understand that there's a difference in who owns the light and who owns the pole. Now, I'm serious when I say that. We own the light, they own the pole. But the problem right now is with the pole, but nobody has convinced Edison that they have to get out here and fix this. So I am in 3.5 months with no light at night. And it's really dangerous because coyotes could try and eat my dog. I could fall down. When people come and like someone tries to drive in my driveway, you have to look out for the pole because the pole is right by my driveway. So you have to be really careful turning into my driveway. So it's always an adventure anytime I'm with someone who drops me off. So I would appreciate if you somehow would resolve this situation of what goes on when we own the pole, we own the lights, and Edison owns the poles, because obviously you don't know what's going on, and people aren't talking to each other. Thank you.
I don't know why I missed that. I've been there for many, many dozen times. Finally, I fixed 01, not me, 0109T pole. I fixed it. I haven't fixed it. So, in fact, I was looking for someone directed me to pole that you had a problem in cul-de-sac 333. I will see you after meeting, maybe tomorrow. We will fix that. Thank you.
There's a red.
I know that. Just, I will have him fix it. Thank you.
Next speaker is Zara Romero.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zahra Romero. I'm the owner of 4010 1H For the past 2 years, we are having issues. Well, I have tenants there, and they are having issues with the noise disturbance that we have with 4010 2H. And on November 12, 2022, we sent a request to the security. They came, and no one answered. On November 14, 2022, again at 2 a.m., we had the same issue. There has not been any follow-up since then. So I lost that tenant, and then I had a new tenant last year, and then this new tenant is also leaving because of this noise disturbance. So I opened, they said as an owner, I can go ahead and file a new incident report, which I did with the chief. And they would like to see, they suggested that I should come here and discuss it with you all, so everyone can be aware of it and try to do something to come up with some kind of resolution. And when I visited my tenant, because of this noise, they had all of their stuff from their main master bedroom all in the living room. So they had to move their things to the living room to live like that. And this is horrible. As an owner, when I see that, I feel horrible to see that. So then I decided, okay, I need to come and take care of this because it hasn't been done for the past 2 years. And here I am trying to figure out what to do, who we need to talk to. I have talked to Mr. Daniels, and he gave me the old incident report and noticed that there was no follow-up. So he's the one who suggested I should get a new incident report and try to start it over again. So I'm begging everyone to please, if there's any way, whatever we need to do. So what happens, this person in 2H, from what they told me, he's really sick, so he uses his walker or wheelchair. So I do not even know if it's on the surface that is making all that noise. So he has all the rights, obviously, but the folks below him are having issues that they cannot get enough sleep, go to work, or just rest in their own residence. So, and also I sent out all kinds of email to everyone that I thought, residence office, compliance office, the security, and Mr. Park was kind enough in the last meeting that we had for the seepage problem. He said, just come to the board, let's discuss it here. So I'm asking everyone, please, for the sake of my headache and also the money that is costing me, if there's anything we can figure out, come up with a solution. If there is a resolution committee, I'm more than willing to come. Okay, so please take that into consideration. Thank you all.
Next speaker is Linda DeBoer.
Good morning. I'm Linda DeBoer. I live at 3101 Unit C. And there's a proposal to remove the existing concrete walkway along the southeast side of Building 3101 and replace it with drought-tolerant plants. I'm a pragmatic person. When I bought my unit, it was not disclosed an incident. I had new windows put in, and the installer said, would you come here, Linda? And in the living room, in the far corner, the slider was taken out, and underneath, there was charred wood. He said, there's been a fire in this unit. And I said, well, that was not disclosed, but I'm going to do some research. So I did. And indeed, there had been a fire. A woman who owned or rented the place was smoking in her bed, and the unit, the condo, caught on fire. And it spread all the way into the living room. So my concern is this sidewalk is essential for an evacuation route. So removing an existing sidewalk, to me, does not seem like a sensible thing to do. The building 3100, 2 units there would not have been able to go past my bedroom on the regular sidewalk. So they only had the way out that this sidewalk presents to them. Evidently, this sidewalk was put in after the whole unit had been completed or cul-de-sac, but I believe maybe it was put in because of the fire. because 3 units had no way out other than going way around a building in the dark or to find the way along the sidewalk, where the sidewalk is right now. People use this sidewalk every day. This morning when I made my bed, I opened up my shutters and Nom was coming back, and he was coming back by that sidewalk. His wife uses a cane, so it would not be expedient for her to go around another way. So I think when you look at removing something, what might the downfall be or the downside? And I think the downside here is you're losing an evacuation route that might be essential in the future. Thank you.
Next speaker is Suzanne Model.
Good morning. I'm Suzanne Model. I live at 3314A San Amadeo, cul-de-sac 333. Members of the Third Landscape Committee are familiar with my litany of complaints regarding the new paint program re-landscaping project. Today, I will not protest my 11 weeks of lost privacy. I will not grumble about the smell that still emanates from the mulch scattered around my building 10 days ago. Those are matters for the Landscape Committee. I am here today to address the larger Third Mutual Board. I have 3 questions for you. First, what are the reasons for re-landscaping the terrain in a recycled water area? Since I will not have a chance at rebuttal, I will say now that I've heard some of the reasons and I don't find them persuasive. Second, how is it possible to implement such major changes without giving residents a chance to weigh in before a decision is made? In the April 19, 2023 edition of his email to residents, Mark Laws wrote that a less ambitious version of the new paint program re-landscaping project might be on the table. At that time, I was not on his mailing list, nor, I assume, were the majority of residents of Third. A project of this magnitude should not have been approved without giving all residents adequate notice and the opportunity to comment. Not a single resident of my cul-de-sac had the faintest idea how to interpret the message they received on July 23rd of this year, telling them that their surroundings would undergo massive change. At this moment, 90% of Third residents still know nothing about the project. Yet when we have elections for board positions, nearly every candidate promises to bring greater transparency to village decision-making. Where was the transparency when the new paint program re-landscaping project was decided? My last question, what is the annual cost of these improvements to residents? And what is the total projected cost? I'm less interested in the potential savings because experience has taught me that costs are a sure thing, but benefits are a crapshoot. So I would like to know how this undertaking affects my HOA fee now. To recapitulate, I'm asking the board, why are you doing this? Why didn't you ask the residents before acting? And how much will it cost? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Bill Walsh.
Good morning. Congratulations to the new board members, some of whom I know and have a long history with. I'm here again to talk about streetlights. Last Wednesday, there was a meeting in City Hall, and I'm curious to see if Chris Macon does come here and talk about that, where the county came down with federal funds. They have a federal, every 5 years, they get federal funds, and they go to different communities to see if these communities can benefit from some of these funds. And I'll let Chris talk to you about that. I didn't know he was coming today. But one of the issues that's near and dear to my heart were streetlights. And Chris and I had a little conversation. I don't know if you know it, but the city owns 30-plus streetlights in Third Mutual. They own 3 or 4, 5 in GRF, and they own over 100 in United. The problem is none of those streetlights have LED lights. And from experience in Third Mutual, the lighting was dramatically improved when the LED lights were put in. My suggestion is, and when you talk to Chris, you're going to have to probably do it board by board because everybody's got their own territory to deal with here. But figure out a way to get the city to replace the light bulbs with LED lights. Okay. The second thing, this nice lady here, I was asked to look at that situation about the bad neutral, and apparently, according to Bart Mejia, that's an SCE problem, Mr. Park. So the neutral is not working, that's coming into the pole. Third Mutual owns the poles and the electrical wiring in the poles and the light fixtures. Edison is responsible for all the electrical conduit to the pole, okay? Lastly, I would recommend that at your MNC meetings that you get are they bi-monthly now or just still monthly? Are they monthly? Bi-monthly? That you get a report on light pole outages. And it would really be nice if that report were handed to VMS employees, because almost every time I call about light poles, there's a debate about whether it's Edison's issue or whether it's Third Mutual's issue. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth, and thank you very much for your service. It's commendable.
Thank you.
Uh, Next speaker is Paul Dye.
Sorry, I'm getting used to these. Suzanne, my wife, we're here basically to ask for reimbursement. We have a rental unit on 2136P. And when we were flying in from Europe, we had no idea, but one of our renters expressed a complete blackout in their unit. They did what we asked them to, is first call us, but we were in flight, so there's no way they could touch us. So the second thing I do is, because it was a Saturday, they called security. So security came out, and basically they told the renter that nothing that they could do until Tuesday, because it was a holiday on Monday. And so they took that and went ahead. So when we landed, we got a text, and the text said that. We talked to them. We said, is anything burning? Make sure that everything is safe, because we don't want everything to go up on the building. They said yes. But in the meantime, they had gone into a hotel because they knew that there was no possibility of getting anything done until Tuesday. So then they came on, what was it? What was the situation, Suzanne? They came in on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, they were supposed to come, but when I called Property Services, they were aware of the report, but they hadn't made any plans to come out and look at the electrical panel that was completely burned up. And they told me that basically it was up to us to get a personal electrician to come in and do the work, which we did. And because they were out of power from Saturday until Tuesday, and we couldn't get somebody in until that day. They came in late in the afternoon and hooked up, made jerry rigging so that the electricity would work for the lights in the refrigerator, but not the water heater or the heating of any kind or the stove.
So that was fixed. Okay.
So that was temporary fix, and
fix.
that company said that they could come out Tuesday and replace the panel.
I think it was Thursday.
Yeah. Right. On Wednesday, Maria from Laguna Woods, I don't know what department, called us up and said that they had an electrician in the vicinity that could come out and replace the panel within 15 minutes. And that this
This company was the company that was contracted with Laguna Woods to do this exact kind of work at no cost to us.
At no
because
cost
it
to
was-
us. So basically, we're running out of time. So
Yes.
basically, what they came, they replaced the panel. We canceled our order to the contractors. And what we found out when we further into it is that the guard gave us, the renters, bad information. All he had to do was call your contractor. They would have came out that same day, fixed the problem, and our renters would not had to move to a hotel, nor we have to pay a contractor to temporarily hook it up. So the bottom line is we're asking for reimbursement that cost that through $309 for the cost of the contractor to come and $555 to put these people up when it was not necessary.
So we're just looking for reimbursement for this. And also, hopefully, somebody can make the communication between.
To the guard and
to the
everybody
guards
else.
And whatever the chain of command is to avoid this kind of thing from happening.
This personal contractor came and says they do 2 a day during in this area because it happens quite frequently, so they have all this stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then final speaker is Renee Greenman.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Renee Greenman, 3101 Via Serena North, Unit D. So it seems a few of my neighbors got letters if they were protesting the sidewalk that I had proposed in the previous alterations meetings and in the previous third meetings to keep the sidewalk that's already there, but just go around my front door. You said it was going to be too expensive. It's really just picking up a piece of sidewalk and going around my house. I've walked around my area, and I've seen 3 houses in progress getting new cement walkways. I asked the owners, "Are you paying for this?" They said no. I said, "Are you from Laguna Woods?" Yes. It seems the sidewalks are being done in certain houses for safety reasons, whether it be high, low, whatever, or safety, as far as safety, and I've been rejected. And I'm trying to bring it up again because 3 of my neighbors came to me when they got that letter complaining, and what Kay said as far as a fire hazard, I think she has a very good, reason to protest it. I didn't, and my house was the house that had the fire too. It was the whole house. So it seems if a fire truck or ambulance came on the street, they don't park in the carport. They park on the street and come up through the sidewalk that is supposedly going to be removed. So I think I'm taking back what I'm saying now, and I think we should keep the sidewalk. But I'm pleading with you again, if we could just work around, not picking up the sidewalk, just work around my front area to make the sidewalk go around it again. And I know you said it was $10,000, but you're redoing sidewalks in 3 neighbors of mine that have safety reasons. And I hope I'm making myself clear. I don't know if I'm confusing you, but I hope you'll reconsider and try to do the sidewalk again like originally was suggested. That would have cost $10,000, but you wanted me to pay for it, but you would take responsibility for it. And I don't feel it's fair. If you're taking responsibility for the common area and the sidewalk, I don't feel I have to pay for it when you're doing other sidewalks in my neighborhood, walkways, that had safety issues.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any comments? No? Yeah, okay. yes.
For Ms. Linda, Renee, and Paul, and Bill, all of those at MNC, I asked Siobhan to take those notes. We have to send that to the MNC, and we get feedback of all of those items for the next MNC meeting.
Yes, sir.
Because
and
we
I have,
need all of those.
Yes, and I have some of them now that I can share with
Yeah,
you later.
because
Thank you.
I don't have any answer right now, because we have to look into every one of them and explore. Thank you.
Okay.
Robert.
Yes, Ron.
I guess, Reza, in relation to the 3101C, if my recollection is correct, the M&C committee recently approved removal of that sidewalk and replacing it with turf-tolerant material.
Right.
So is that in front, I was traveling and I got back 1 o'clock in the morning last night. I hadn't had a chance to read our whole agenda, but is that on our agenda today? Did the M&C committee send it forward?
That's what we're going to talk about, and not to proceed.
Right,
Because
so
in
at this
view of
point-
new information, we
Right.
need to take a look
Right.
at that, because now
That's my-
Renee
That's
saying
my-
that we don't want it, and that, there are
Yeah.
other, so.
That's my point, is
Yeah.
that we need to send it
Exactly.
back to committee rather
Correct.
than leave it on this agenda.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. We
Okay.
do have consent calendar of that, yes.
Okay.
I do have some question regarding Paul Dye. Who owns electrical panel, Siobhan?
It would depend on whether an alteration was involved or not, but it should be VMS.
VMS owns it?
But what I'm told is that if Mr. Dye submits his request for reimbursement, it will be evaluated per your policies.
Okay.
So that's
okay,
the next step there.
Yeah, Paul Dye case, we need evaluate and respond to him as soon as we can, please.
We just need his request.
Yes, yes.
In writing, please.
I requested looking into it.
Okay, but yes, if I can get your reimbursement request, the specifics in writing, we will
Okay.
do that, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a certain form you have on the portal?
I will
Right.
have M&C staff follow up with you.
Okay.
Thank-
Awesome, I appreciate that, thank you.
Okay. Bill Wall's case, a street light. Cul-de-sac 333, I visited more than a dozen times. In fact, I was looking for the street light that I was told that there are some problems with the street light. So I was looking for some people to help me, but I couldn't find anybody, although I visited more than 12 times. So I'll visit you again, and I will find out. In fact, the poll number 0109T, I have our MNC director haven't fixed it. So we fixed that problem. So yours will be fixed as well. I guarantee you that. So I understand. Please give me time. So I will have them fix it. It takes time. I cannot go up the pole myself and fix it. So give me time. So yeah, I know that. Please give me time. I'm slow learner, but I'll fix it. No problem. I guarantee you that. I'm a very persuasive person. Okay? Other than that, Linda and Renee, we need to review that on the consent item calendar. I guess we have to table it. So I think that's Susan. Yeah.
On that, I wasn't clear on the noise issue. Can we
Yeah.
talk about it, see what's going
Sure.
on? If you let us know what the,
Yeah.
because I was confused about where the noise
Right.
coming from, what level is,
Sure,
is the compliance has something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Compliance emailed you, I believe, on the 14th of November. The key in this situation is that the residents need to report it to security. They've only reported twice, and that was in 2022. So we need your residents to be active and call security when they hear the noise. So
I discussed that with my tenant, but they said it's cultural issue, cultural concern. They do not want to go to be a tattletale and call the security. So when I went to security, when I talked to the chief, he said, as an owner, you could do this follow-up. You could file with them, and I do have a new incident report number, and I have provided all the papers, and I had sent an email to you guys as well. So, but no response from the email at all, okay? So I'm really concerned because it's been 2 years now, and since November 14 or 12, 2022, we have had this issue. So the noise is this gentleman in 4010 2H. He comes, he's ill, but he comes and he wakes up, uses his wheelchair or walker, which no one knows. And I don't even know, I'm assuming there is no carpet there. If that's the alteration department we need to discuss, I just need to come up with something. Because this past 2 years, even though my contract with my tenants have been for 2 years or so, they all leave because of the noise. And one of them could not get enough sleep, so she's tired during the day with her job, so she lost her job. So anyway, I mean, it's costing money not only for me, but the poor tenants as well. And that's not the way to live for them, to move all their stuff from their main master bedroom to come to stay in the living room. So my place is 4010 1H, they're in 4010 2H. And it's all the matter of some noise that happens at 2 a.m.
Well, thank you. We will talk to the compliance, we see what the issues are. If the matter of disability issue and all of that, it's going to be pretty complicated, but we need to look into it.
Can we check to see if there is a carpet there, if that would eliminate?
It doesn't matter. Sometimes
No?
the noise
Yeah.
is,
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
we have to
So,
look into
Steve?
it. Thank you.
Yeah, when was the last time that you submitted documentation to security?
November 13, 2024. And
Thank you.
I do have the incident report number also, if you need that, or,
November 13, 2024?
yeah. At the
Which is-
meeting that I was with you,
Okay,
yeah, that's
Oh.
when everyone finally said, as an owner, you go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Since your tenant doesn't do the reporting,
Okay.
you can go ahead and do that.
Could we get that number from you?
Sure, it's 244 45 48.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
Okay.
beg you.
is
all
that the
of you,
security officer gave you number, or is it
Yes.
resident center?
Yes, the
Security,
security.
okay.
Yeah, let's just look at,
So we'll look
into
at
And
it.
they said the chief will also look at it.
Well, Steve Parson will take over, I think, right?
Thank you, I thank
Good,
you all.
thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Okay.
You're the
And the Bill
persistent
Walsh
one.
case, to be truthful, I do not know which one owns by what, that kind of thing. So I'm learning, but I will try to fix it. When you find the street light, it's not light on the dark, please give me a call. I'll come out and take a look, and then I will have them fix it, okay?
Also,
Okay.
please file a report with the
Right, resident
services, with the
service, yeah.
customer services, because I don't think you can go around all of the neighborhoods. So if we have a number that is
Yes.
registered, then we can follow it up.
All residents, I'm telling you, when you see dark at night, street light is not on, please call security or report to resident services, 24-hour service. That way you will have a ticket number, then we can push it. Okay? Thank you. Anybody else?
I just-
Regarding the Susan case, ABC, we do try to save money down the road. We are spending money for now, but after 5, 6, 7 years, we will get some return because saving water. However, it's been instituted and it's been approved by board. We will review one more time this year when we set up the budget, and then from there we'll move on. But at this moment, we need to follow up very gratefully on our projects at this point. But we'll review one more time on this year budget, okay? So it doesn't make any sense maybe to you, but yeah, okay, so I understand.
That nobody knows about it.
Right, so because it's HOA owns all the outside landscape property.
So because it's outside our limits, we don't need to be.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. No, we're not ignoring residents. My catchphrase is resident first. I don't care whoever says whatever. Resident first. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is,
with me, so we both are suffering.
I-
Right now, it's the
I'll visit you, I'll talk to you, okay? Thank you. I'll talk to you. Okay, so this is it for forum. Now, next item. Yeah, I know that. So we'll go back to 5B, Laguna Woods City Council presentation by City Manager Chris Bacon.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
We have some slides up as well. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Chris Macon. I'm the city manager of the city of Laguna Woods. Have been with the city of Laguna Woods for over 17 years and have had the pleasure of serving as your city manager for the last just over 11 years. Next slide. I appreciate the invitation today. I know there wasn't any particular specific topic in mind, so I'm just going to hit a couple of things. I thought I'd start, though, with talking about what the city does. And I can't give you a complete exhaustive list of it, but I pulled 5 things that I thought were relevant to Third Mutual. The first, obviously, is public safety services. I know public safety is a huge concern for all of us. The city is the organization that contracts for law enforcement services with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. We also are a member of the Joint Powers Authority that provides fire protection services here, the Orange County Fire Authority. And then we contract with the city of Laguna Beach for animal control services within Laguna Woods as well. Waste and recycling services is another touch point that our organizations interact on a daily basis. The city is the entity that has the contract with CR&R that provides waste services inside Laguna Woods Village and to each of your manors. We also have a separate contract with WM Curbside, sometimes referred to as at your door special collection services. This is how we dispose of household hazardous waste door to door. We operate a battery drop-off program at City Hall. You can also bring sharps waste to City Hall. So it's kind of the non-traditional solid waste stream. We are also responsible for maintaining and operating the public streets in Laguna Woods, so El Toro Road, Moulton Parkway, portions of Ridge Route, and Santa Maria. Those fall under the city's jurisdiction. That's not the only public property we have. We also operate Woods End Wilderness Park. We have City Center Park, and then we, of course, have the dog park on Ridge Route Drive. And then I heard some comments about street lighting. We also have 31 street lights that the city owns and operates within Third Mutual. Building permitting is another kind of common touch point between the city and Third Mutual, where Third Mutual is responsible for enforcing architectural standards and policies adopted by this board. The city's responsibility is to enforce statewide building codes. So no matter where you live in California, you're subject to the California Building Standards Code. The city is the entity that enforces it. Very importantly, we do not create that code. That's a statewide body of regulations. Our responsibility is to implement it here at the local level. And then finally, land use and zoning control. That's another really key role of cities. State law requires that the city adopt standards for the general distribution, location, and extent of land uses within our jurisdiction. So you can think about this as the what can go where question, right? The city is responsible for adopting a land use map and a zoning map that identify the types of businesses, the types of land uses, whether that's commercial, residential, community facilities, open space, the list goes on and on. We come up with the list of what's allowed to be built where, and then obviously when something is built, we go back to that building permitting item and are responsible for making sure that they get constructed in conformance with state law. Next slide, Michaela. Wanted to give you kind of a practical example of that. I know you've probably seen the northeast corner of Moulton Parkway in El Toro, where the Moulton Auto Spa used to be. There's a demolition project underway right now. On the screen is a rendering of what will eventually be there. This is a conceptual rendering, but it's substantially accurate. The property owner actually received city council approval 2 years ago to demolish the Molten Auto Spa and build a new shell car wash and gas station at that location. They have worked through some financing issues, so 2 years later, they're actually tearing down the building. Very shortly, you'll see a new building start to rise out of it. There'll be 6 fuel pumps, there'll be a roughly 1,700 square foot convenience store, and then there'll be a drive-through automated car wash as well. So it won't be the hand car wash, but you will be able to drive into a tunnel and get your car washed. Those kinds of projects are things that the city is responsible for overseeing the application process for, and then again monitoring the construction. So we'll have inspectors out there on a near daily basis, making sure that that building and the canopy and the car wash is built in conformance with state law. Next slide. Another thing I wanted to touch on today was our senior mobility program. This is a hugely popular program, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But for those who may not be aware, the city provides subsidized taxi service to residents of Laguna Woods. There's only 2 eligibility requirements. One is you have to live in Laguna Woods. Second is you have to be at least 60 years of age. We offer, with our partner California Yellow Cab, dramatically subsidized fares for transportation. There's some examples of those fares on the screen there. Some are $0 to the Irvine train station and to City Hall. And then the rest of the fares range between $5 and $25. That'll take you anywhere in Orange County, and it'll also take you out of Orange County to the Long Beach Veterans Hospital for our servicemen and women who require some continuing care there. One of the more popular components of the program is the $25 flat fare to John Wayne Airport. For those who are planning holiday travel, I would strongly encourage you to take advantage of that. That's less expensive than you'll pay for parking at the airport and less expensive than you'll pay for an Uber or a Lyft or some other type of ground transportation. On the next slide, I wanted to give you a sense of the last year of the program. So the stats on the screen are from July 1st of 2023 to June 30th of 2024. In that year of the program, we had 4,325 residents enrolled, the vast majority of whom live inside Laguna Woods Village. And then it breaks it down by different categories, but kind of the big takeaway at the bottom there is that we provided just under 14,500 trips, totaling just under 120,000 miles, all at those dramatically subsidized rates. We expect to exceed these numbers in the current fiscal year. We now have over 5,000 residents enrolled, taking more and more trips, which is great. It's the whole point of the program. One of the kind of notable things here is that 4,325 enrollment number as of June 30th of this year, that's roughly 25% of the number of Laguna Woods residents according to the most recent census who are eligible for the program. So that's a really large level of participation. And again, I would expect that we will pretty significantly exceed these numbers by June of 2025. This program, if a resident is interested in enrolling in it, they just need to visit City Hall. It's a very quick enrollment process. We issue an ID card that they need to show the cab driver when they're picked up. There's a dedicated phone number for Laguna Woods residents to call and talk to dispatchers who are familiar with the program and can get them scheduled for transportation. All of the rides are individual, meaning you're not sharing a shuttle or a van with other people unless you choose to. The eligible resident can travel with up to 2 additional guests with them, regardless of age, regardless of relationship. So if you have a caregiver, if you have friends, you can fill that taxi with at least 1 eligible resident at that fare. The fare doesn't increase with multiple guests. So again, if you're interested in this program, please call City Hall, email City Hall, visit City Hall. We're happy to get people enrolled in the program. And there is no cost to enroll either. Next slide, Michaela. Last thing I wanted to touch on before I'll take any questions that you have. Another service that is extremely popular at City Hall, and I want to make sure your residents know about, are the free notary and foreign pension acknowledgement services that we provide. Most documents for Laguna Woods residents are free to have notarized at City Hall. It does require an appointment. There are a couple of limited exceptions where we charge a small fee, and non-residents pay a fee as well. But we offer appointments 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, except holidays and days City Hall is closed. You can schedule your appointment online. You don't even have to call City Hall to do that. But a really great service for saving people some money, particularly people who require foreign pension acknowledgements. Those can be fairly frequently, and those are at no charge as well, just like most of the notary services. So with that, I don't know if you have any specific questions. Like I said, I know there wasn't a specific topic today, but I wanted to provide you with my contact information. You're free to reach out to me anytime you'd like.
Yes, Peggy?
Thank you. I would like to follow up on your, on one of our speakers today, Bill Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the city is getting federal funds and you need to apply for them. Is it possible to be able to get the LED lights in all 30 of your light stations in the region?
So anything is possible. I'll start there.
How do we make it happen?
In years past, we have had conversations with this board and with GRF and United as well, because we own streetlights in all three areas. There has been an unwillingness to entertain any modifications to the streetlight maintenance and operation agreement between Third Mutual and the city. If that has changed, we're happy to have a conversation about it. There's no steadfast objection to the concept of retrofitting our light standards with LED lights, but there are some challenges in the existing agreement that we would need to work through.
Can you help me with what those might be?
There are some questions regarding indemnification, right of entry. There's 2 or 3 other topics I don't recall. It's been a couple of years since we addressed it, but if you'd like us to take another run at it, we're happy to have that conversation. But yeah, it's really just a contractual
I would like to see
matter.
that happen.
Okay. Robert?
Follow up to Director Moore's question. Is it that the city has tried to sell the lights, the posts to Laguna Woods?
No.
No? All right. So why is it that you want to continue ownership of them?
We're happy to sell them if that's
I just was wondering.
interested in.
Because, that just was wondering.
Okay.
No, I have another question later, but go ahead, Timon.
Okay.
I do that.
Okay. Dr. Yun?
First of all, thank you coming up to talk to us, and this is really opening up the between city and Third Mutual Laguna Woods Village. Thank you. My question is a couple things here. One is the building permit. Laguna Woods has our own building permit process, and then city has their own. Is there any way, so our residents are incumbent to do 2 process? Is there any way we can discuss it and shrink it is only 1 process as much as possible? Is that possible? Or you people and our people can sit down and together figure it out?
So the conversation has come up many, many times over certainly the 17 years that I've been here. The long and the short of it is that what the city does with building permits is what's legally required under state law. You all have your own architectural standards and policies that exist separate and apart from that. So there's always going to be a 2-tier approval process because the city doesn't enforce your architectural standards and you and your manor alteration staff don't enforce building code standards. I know that we have, I think, a good working relationship with your manor alteration staff, and anything that we can do to minimize the amount of back and forth, we're happy to have that discussion. But I think if the root of your question is, can we ever get to a single permit? Unfortunately, what the city requires is required by state law. So the only way that that would be possible is if for some reason you didn't want to have your own architectural standards, but obviously you do for a multitude of very reasonable reasons. So I think you're always going to have 2 systems. I think what's better to focus on is how best to coordinate between the 2 agencies and make that process as seamless and easy to manage for residents. that's certainly something that I think we're happy to be a part of the discussion, and I know that our building staff and your manor alteration staff work together on that pretty closely.
Thank you.
Maybe we can dialogue further between three of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I have a further follow-up, or not a follow-up, a couple other questions. The senior mobility, that I commended that you guys did a terrific job, and I'm one of the users time to time, and many of our residents are so glad to have that. But a couple things, is that funded by city or county?
So it's funded by a couple of different sources. The city does contribute general fund monies to it, so some of the funding is from the city. We also provide the staff support for the program, but don't directly charge it to the program, so there's some in-kind support. And then a portion of the funding does come from Measure M2 OC Go, which is the half-cent transportation sales tax that applies countywide. So we do get some monies through that as well. But candidly, in years past, I would have answered and said, aside from the city's in-kind contributions, we're funding it entirely with those regional transportation funds. Because demand for the program has jumped so significantly, the City Council has made the decision to make up the difference with general fund dollars. So it's a mix at this point.
Does the city have some maneuverability, flexibility? What I'm asking is, I understand that this program does not include inside Laguna Woods Village.
It does.
It does?
Yes, so you can get picked up at your home. You can
10 miles.
You can take trips within Laguna Woods Village if that's what you wanted to do. But yeah, we provide transportation everywhere in Orange County, including Laguna Woods, and then to the Long Beach Veterans Hospital.
Thank you. Clarify. I was lied to by some of the GRF members. And I've been pushing that for a long time. Okay. Thank you. Second one is, that clears so many things. Okay. And let me spill the bean. We spent about 1.7 million annually for our mobility inside the village. So we try to save some of the money. If you provided, we are providing same service, almost same service, then why we have to spend that much money? Okay, we may share with you, but we're trying to save some money. Thank you. Second one is...
Just to clarify, that obviously there's some policy questions in there that I won't touch on, but just to be clear, we don't provide a fixed route transportation system, so there is a pretty big significant difference between
I
your
understand
bus system
that,
and,
but I think it just certainly deserve another discussion between city and ourselves to try to eliminate the duplication, save some money.
Okay.
Another question is, sorry, sir. When I used it, on my return, I made a reservation. They didn't show up, so it made a big disaster. Okay, we were expecting the taxi service, whatever there, wasn't there. So I had to call them, and they said, "Oh, we didn't know."
Point of order, President.
Yes.
May I call? I think we discussed it. I think the
So what I'm saying is that when we make a reservation, you have to give us that the call center, whatever dispatches, should give us some kind of number or some kind of evidence so we can direct that when they didn't show up. Then that happened, we had to wait another hour just sitting there because we don't have car.
Can we
Again, point of order.
can we discuss this separate, please? Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. First, I want to thank you, Chris, for coming. We really appreciate that. This is going to be a good dialogue between our board and the city. And we're looking forward to have this ongoing every other month. I guess the council hopefully agreed that we do it every other month, and we're going to be hopefully more organized to send you some, topics ahead of time so you can bring some information back to us. I have a couple of questions. One is about the new gas station. What is the traffic study on that? Because it's going to go from El Toro. Right now, that corner that you turn to Moulton from El Toro is a short distance for the turn. And now with the higher traffic, how are we going to manage the traffic in that corner? Is the city look at that? It is approved by
Yeah, so
authorities?
we did look at it. It's a substantially similar use to what's there before. The Moulton Auto Spa also had a gas use. It was obviously smaller than the 6 months that are proposed, but it had a hand car wash that generated a pretty significant amount of traffic as well. So in our analysis, we found that they were pretty comparable. There are some traffic improvements being made, so the driveway distances are a little bit further from the street, which will help. And we made a point to make sure that circulation on the site was such that you could exit from either driveway. It wasn't like a one-way in, one-way out, which is what existed there prior to. But we don't expect any significant noticeable difference in traffic once it's
Because
constructed.
that brings me to the next question that I said I have two, is the new fire station and the proximity that with this, when the new fire station going to be built and how that's going to impact this whole traffic pattern, because that's a very highly trafficked area for members.
Sure. So the potential new fire station would be located on Moulton Parkway at the location that is currently the lower part of City Center Park. So it's on the opposite, it would be traveling south on Moulton Parkway. The fire station won't generate any significant amount of traffic. There will be no public facilities there. It'll be a single engine company with some additional office space for the Sheriff's Department and Laguna Beach Animal Control. So there should be very few vehicles coming and going from that location. If anything, what the effect that a potential new fire station would have on traffic is actually to improve traffic between, or on El Toro Road between Valencia and Moulton Parkway. Right now, and I'm generalizing, but right now if a resident who lives in the Gate 11 area calls for the fire department, that engine is probably leaving the station on Valencia, traveling through many signalized intersections. In the course of doing that, modifying the timing of each of those signalized intersections, which takes a while for then each of the signalized intersections to recover, and they're running their sirens that whole distance, at least for the most part. So the potential addition of a second fire station on the other side of the Moulton and El Toro intersection will mean a lot fewer disruptions along El Toro Road, and it won't actually mean increased disruptions on Moulton Parkway or Santa Maria, because the calls for service are the calls for service, right? You don't build a new fire station and then all of a sudden there's 2,000 additional calls. So it's really a redistribution of that, but I don't view the addition of the fire station as actually negatively impacting.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a question?
Yes. First of all, I'm very happy to see the mobility program is continuing. The rumor is that it's underutilized, so that's good information to pass on to the residents, because there's some concern that it's going to disappear. So I'm happy to hear that.
Just to put that rumor to bed, I think where that comes from is the senior mobility program operates on a 2-year term. So when residents enroll, they enroll through June 30th of 2025. But I'm happy to make it clear today that the program will continue for another 2-year term. So it's not going away, but residents will have to re-enroll in the next 2-year cycle of it.
Okay, thank you.
I just had one. First of all, again, thank you for coming. I very much appreciate it. I think the open conversations that we have now and in the future will be very beneficial. I would like to ask that the next time somebody comes back, that we have a more in-depth discussion, explanation regarding the waste management, because the contract that the city signed showed some exorbitant jumps in the cost here in the village. And I think we really need to have a closer look at that situation. I understand the way the contract is set up, that the high increases are in the first number of years and then it levels off. But still, the change has been dramatic from when Waste Management did have the contract to the new contract. I understand that there's the digester involved in all of that as well. But I think we need to have more conversation about that.
Yeah, happy to. Just a quick note, I know the president's trying to move us along, but the Waste Management exited the contract because it wasn't financially viable for them. So it really has less to do with the digester component of it and more to do with a hauler expecting a market rate in the village. But yes, I'm happy to talk about it at much greater length in the future.
Okay, thank you.
I'm delighted. Thank you.
You know, if we're going this slow, we're going to stay here all night tonight. So
I'll come back, I
Push it a
promise.
little faster. Quick, please.
Quick question. Chris, would you care to comment on the revenues that are being generated by the artisanry for the city?
Oh, yeah.
I can. So the Artistry is a cannabis storefront retailer that opened in Laguna Woods in May. We have a voter-approved business tax on that facility, as well as the regular sales tax that's collected off of all required businesses. We are generating roughly $70,000 a month off of the Artistry in that business tax to date. So all of that money is available to do things like fund the senior mobility program and the other services that the city provides.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everyone.
Michaela, would you distribute copies of today's presentation? I do have some questions, but I hold. So, okay, next item is a CEO report, please.
Thank you, Honorable President, members of the board. I'll try to be brief. I know we've had a long meeting already. This morning, I wanted to begin by highlighting the VMS Customer Satisfaction Survey. As you know, VMS is a not-for-profit professional community management company equally owned by GRF, Third Mutual, and United Mutual. GRF and the housing mutuals provide services and maintenance to village residents by contracting with VMS to provide the actual work. We come in contact with residents daily in such ways as entering the gates, when residents play sports, visit a clubhouse, watch TV6, use cable or internet, and so forth. Going to the next slide, please. VMS is committed to providing exceptional service and strives for continuous improvement. We held a VMS strategic planning session in May. This involved VMS board of directors and senior management. And among one of the 2027 goals is to provide exceptional service. And we felt that this is merely aspirational without providing a way to measure success. So the VMS Board Ad Hoc Committee recommended a yardstick, which is the survey that is currently being advertised to our residents to complete. On the next slide, you'll see that residents are asked to complete and submit the survey by November 30th. You may find this survey online in a number of ways by visiting the news homepage at lagunawoodsvillage.com. In the November editions of What's Up in the Village, there's a link to the survey. And on pages 52 and 53 of the November-December Village Breeze, there are also instructions to filling it out online. If you prefer to do a hard copy survey, you can find it at the community center here in the lobby, at the social services office, clubhouse literature racks, clubhouse 1 drop-in lounge, on village buses, the village library, and the tower's lobby. Please note that the survey will ask for your resident ID. This ensures feedback is from village residents only. Only one survey per resident can be submitted. Your survey response is confidential. No follow-up will be conducted, but survey results will be published at lagunawoodsvillage.com and other communications platforms. To further evidence VMS's commitment to service enhancements, we recently completed a benchmarking study to compare our organization with others in the same industry and in the broader marketplace. This full report is available at bit.ly/VMS benchmark and can be downloaded for your use. And again, this shows how we compare to other companies, and it also gives us insights on ways we can improve processes, make better use of technology, and so forth. And lastly, this morning, I want to highlight the Employee Excellence Awards. These are presented yearly in the spring and fall to VMS employees who demonstrate excellent customer service, achieve great results on projects, and regularly go above and beyond their regular job duties. Those receiving awards this fall include the following: Mai Kennedy, Senior Accountant from our Financial Services Department, for her work on the ERP implementation. As you know, we had a new accounting system go live about a month and a half ago. She is instrumental in this. In our General Services Department, Rodrigo Ayala, Concrete Finisher, who is a go-to person. Rosemary Boldrick, Administrative Specialist, who performs exceptionally in her role on a daily basis. In our Information Services Department, 3 members of our resident services staff were represented: Ruben Felix, Jocelyn Flores, and Delphine Matthew, for their excellent customer service. And Grant Schultz, a software analyst, was recognized for his ERP project coordination. He was the key to this whole project, in addition to Chuck Holland, our Information Technology Director. Landscaping Services recognized Hector Botello, crew foreman, for his excellent customer service, and Noel Lopez, tree trimmer technician, for his ability to multitask and get things accomplished. Our Maintenance and Construction Department recognized Azita Baudry and Guy Wests, both project managers and the project division manager, as they completed the Clubhouse 1 beautification project on schedule and on budget. Alfonso Castro, plumbing foreman, was recognized for his customer service excellence. Jonathan Jurigi, maintenance operations supervisor, was recognized for his excellent problem-solving skills. In our manor alterations division, Melissa Serrato and Dominique Vargas were recognized for their efforts to vastly enhance customer service in this area. On the screen before you are several recreation department employees. Can you advance the slides, please? Who were instrumental in helping to relocate our clients from the Clubhouse 1 facility during the beautification project and made the best use of available space to all these displaced residents. So our hats go off to them. And lastly, in security services, Dan Laurie, Security Supervisor 2, is recognized for his retooling of the training program for our gate ambassadors. And in the CEO's office, Patty Curzet was recognized for her ability to reach out to our real estate community through real estate forums and the monthly information bulletin that she produces. So I just wanted to point out these exceptional employees to you with the hope that you can thank them as you come across them in the field and in this building. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any question? No. Okay, I'd like to go to,
Oh, I just wanted to inform the board that Jules let me know he has to leave the meeting early, so he's no longer on Zoom.
oh, the Jules left?
Yeah, Director Zallen was on Zoom, but he just messaged me saying he has to leave. So
Okay.
he's no longer on Zoom.
Okay, good. Thank you. Item 10, consent calendar. We do have A, B, C, D. C has a total of 8 items, and D has 6 items. I believe we all reviewed at home. Should I go through each and every one of them, or just one motion? So, I'd like
I'll
to
make
see.
the motion to approve the consent calendar.
Okay, who's second? Okay, good. Reza first, and then Steve second. So, any question or?
I just have one question.
Sure.
And it has to do with the general position regarding common area and the fact that so many of these recommendations are giving away common area. And I really have some question regarding that. I don't know that that's necessarily an appropriate thing that we should be doing.
Okay, so,
I think we discussed that, these are not common area, these are exclusive use common area, so that's a difference.
No,
So I just
well-
want to make sure, they're here, you can help me with that? Because I thought these are all exclusive use common
No.
area.
No,
Well, but it's when it goes to the patio, it's the closed patio, and you can explain it. I
yes,
The only thing on common area is pavers, and there's an agreement that's put together by the attorney. The member pays $750, and it's recorded at the county.
That's
right.
paper.
Maybe,
Everything else is exclusive use common area, and this is all based on the 2018 resolution
Yeah.
that we don't allow common area structures anymore.
so, okay, yes, Steve?
Yeah, I understand that, but on several of these, it didn't say exclusive use, it just said common area, as I was reading through it.
Oh, the language?
Yeah, the language. I think, is that what you're talking about, Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The pavers are on common area.
yeah, I know that, but
Yeah.
the others, were talking about common area, but not exclusive use common area.
Okay.
We can add that terminology
Oh, yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That make a difference.
Other than
because-
that, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
that's the way I ended up reading
I
it.
have the same concern about the common area, the homes that are extending their exterior walls, especially at gate 11, they're taking over common area, correct?
Exclusive use common area.
Exclusive use common area.
So does that affect their tax rate, or?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay. And,
So-
and do we charge them some additional,
I don't think so.
anything additional for taking over that space?
Well, they really don't own it. It's still the mutual corporation's property, and the agreement determines and is clear that you're using this, we're granting you permission to use this, but it's not yours.
Right.
And we can take it back whenever we want.
Yes, but it gets added to the deed, so their taxes increase
Yes.
as if they do own the property. And let's be realistic, what are the real chances of us ever taking back that kind of thing? Once they, I mean, let's be real about it. Well, the document states that it's their property.
Yeah.
And that's the issue, and I have a real problem with us. We should be selling common property. If people want to extend their units, we should be having some kind of process that determines what the value of that property is, and then selling them that property, because there are lots of people who are not in a position to extend their common property, for instance, 3-story buildings, and
Correct.
they own this common property the same as everybody else does.
I'm in agreement with that.
Yes, Yun?
No. Robert, your point is very well taken. We are in same committee. We discussed this in depth, and one of the lawyer giving us all kind of explanation. But it is already exclusive use of a common area, so nobody else use it because it's exclusive. But still, it's on the mutual's payroll. We still have to pay the tax. But if we permit them to include their payroll, their tax law, we don't have to pay tax, and they're gonna pay tax. That answers the Ruth's question. Okay, but as Robert pointed out, if we're gonna give that to resident, maybe we are never gonna get it back. So this is a good time we can sell it. Okay, we never thought about that, but I think that we gotta look at it. And I like that idea.
That part,
Yes. I caution you between the common area and exclusive use common
Yeah.
area. Exclusive use common area is for the members to use only. That's exclusive. So if they want to extend to it, you cannot go and sell it to them. That's their exclusive use common area, and it has been done for ages here. You cannot go back and charge people because they take that. Actually, it does add to the deed because I did the addition, the county came in, count the square footage, and charge me tax. So you don't have to pay tax, I'm paying the tax. But that's, I'm not the only one. I think several people here have done that. So, but common area, we are not, selling common area, that's different issue. And I don't think we are in that business of
No, I don't
selling
think so.
common areas.
Okay. Yes,
Thank you.
Steve?
Go ahead, she was first.
Okay, yeah.
I
Peg.
agree.
Right,
My
okay.
Fellow board member, I extend it as well. And mine is approval of the city. It is known as a room addition, and it was long before some of these rules went into effect. So I am a believer that we have to learn to update our rules to accommodate people coming in here. Laws are changing, people are changing, we're getting younger generations, and they're going to want to make their homes look good. And I think everybody benefits. That's my take.
Okay, Steve?
Yeah, I probably need to revisit this whole thing. It's my last time being familiar with it. It's about 4 to 5 years ago. And at that point, it was determined that our CCNRs stated that you had to have general membership approval before you could give away common area. And that's common area. I'm not talking about the exclusive use. Okay? And that had to come for a vote. We tried it twice, and it was turned down as part of a provision of updating.
Yes.
A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, third board gave, because I was watching the architectural committee and then it was approved by the board, gave individuals the right to expand their exclusive use area into the front common area, extend the wall 8 feet by 12 feet, and take over the common area in front of their unit. And their explanation was, well, there'll be less maintenance for the landscape people, and that was approved. And then another one that was approved was somebody was unhappy with their driveway being at a curve, so we allowed them to straighten out their driveway. I'm just giving you two examples that were approved by this board that actually changed, and the driveway's still the property of the mutual, but the courtyard that was extended became the property of that homeowner, and they took common property, and that was 2 years ago by this board.
I understand that, but I hope we don't sell our common area to any individual, even
So you'd
exclude.
rather just give it away?
No, I'm not.
I think we should take this into the architect control.
Yeah,
Right.
it needs to go to the
And
committee,
discuss that in
but I just
detail,
raised
because
that.
this is not a.
No, this is not the proper form, you're
Yeah.
correct.
Right, so let them discuss at the ASC committee, yeah. So
It's on your
we'll
agenda.
take care of that.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's move.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm in a hurry. Now, 10A, B, C, D, any motion?
Oh, we already made the motion.
Oh,
Made the
you already
motion.
made a motion. Second was Robert? Okay, so any more comment? I forgot. No? Oh,
We were
So-
voting, guys.
We
were-
vote,
hey,
it's a vote, time to
Guys.
vote.
Steve, we're voting.
So all consent calendar being approved. Okay, good. So unfinished business, there is none, so we'll go to 12, new business. Entertain motion to approve updated committee assignment. Any motion? Robert and Steve, a second. Any question? No? Then we'll approve the unanimous, okay? Number B, item B, entertain motion to approve providing members with incentives to perform turf reduction in common area. Any motion or?
I'll make the motion to approve the, incentives that we need to discuss, but it's not.
Yes.
to
I'll
start
second
discussing.
it, but I have a
You
question
second?
too.
Okay. Reza first and then Steve, Steve second and Reza first. Any question or?
Yes.
Yes, Steve.
Okay, I noticed in there, I think it was $3 per square foot the person would get back. Is that a one-time thing? Is it monthly? Is it annual?
We'll get the answer to question.
Yeah.
Here comes Kurt.
Because I don't know that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's weekly. No. It's one time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's one time. It's patterned after NWD's rebate program. So it's basically the rebate that Third Mutual would get for removing the turf.
Yeah.
Had they done the turf removal, if the resident pays for the turf removal, we would just pass that rebate on to the resident.
Okay.
Okay, only a one time, not annual?
Just one time.
Just
It's
one
a
time.
one-time deal.
Any more questions?
And when would that be implemented?
When? Whenever you approve it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not
it has,
effective January 1st if we approve it?
Yes, you could, whenever you approve it, it becomes effective. We've done it in the past on a case-by-case basis. This is just making it policy.
right. Robert, you have a
Yeah.
question? No?
Also, I want to make sure that this is not the nilly-willy, that they just going to remove the turf and do whatever they
No,
want.
there's a process in here.
Exactly.
There's a
Right.
step-by-step process in here.
We
to
do
go
have
through
a
it.
process.
Yeah,
They
we
have to
have a
go through the
process.
procedure,
Yes.
and landscape committee will approve that. Okay?
Okay.
So
Let's
it's
go.
time to
Vote.
vote, I think, right?
Yeah.
Anybody object, or we vote yes? So unanimous. Okay, good. Now, item C, entertain motion to approve building 3101 walkway realignment.
I'd like to recommend we send this back to committee.
Yes.
Yes.
Send
I
back
like
to
that.
landscape.
So
Yes.
it goes back to MNC committee,
Correct.
right? Okay. So Reza, you will be in. You will be taking over that, okay? So we send back to MNC. Entertain motion to receive, file, and file the SB 366 inspection report. Yes.
Sorry, who seconded the last motion for the 3101 walkway realignment?
I did.
You did? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so item D, I'll read again. Entertain motion to receive and file the SB 360 inspection report.
I'll move.
Okay, Robert, motion first and then? Oh, Moon, second. Any question?
Yeah. Can you explain what we are talking about here?
Oh.
So,
Here it comes.
Good morning, Board of Directors. Yes, this is, we're in compliance, the mutual's now in compliance with the Senate Bill 326, which is an inspection of all the exterior elements, meaning stairways, balconies, and things that are raised and attached to the outside of a building. And so by 2025, January 1st, we were required, or the mutual's required to inspect these elements. And we just wanted to report to you that you're within compliance of that Senate bill. We've done all the inspections. We have the report filed. It's 3,500 pages. We could probably print it out, but it would be better if it was put in an electronic version. And so you are within full compliance, and we just wanted to report that.
So this is in addition to the balconies that we were inspecting?
No, it is the same thing.
Is it the same thing now
Kind of
extended?
nicknamed balcony inspection, but in reality, it was all the exterior elements that are raised and attached to the outside.
yes, Peggy first.
How often is this supposed to be done?
This is to be done every 9 years, so you're probably looking at 2034 before the next inspection cycle.
And the percentage that you found had issues?
So out of 118 buildings, 35 required structural repairs.
And the age of our buildings, do you think 9 years is too long or an adequate amount of time?
No, I think it's, for instance, the painting cycle used to be every 10 years, and a part of that painting cycle was to do an inspection of these balconies and other of the elements that are wood and could be exposed to dry rot. So, you know, in reality, you had that program in place long before this Senate bill. You were maintaining your buildings very well.
So balconies were done at the time the buildings were painted?
Yes, and that is true for today as well. They're still inspected by our in-house crews before they apply new paint over the building.
Okay, so that should probably be part of our reserve.
It is in
yeah.
reserves.
Okay.
Yes. Steve?
Yeah, who's doing the structural repairs?
So the structural repairs is being done by outside contractors, and we do competitive bid for those.
Is it the same as the inspection company?
No, the inspection company is just inspections, and then any repairs that they identify, we put on a list for repair.
Okay. And what is phase one? I noticed that was in here.
Because the way the board chose to approach this was in a phased way. So instead of doing everything in 1 year, they did it in like 3 or 2 consecutive years to have the inspections completed. And it goes to budgetary.
Okay. In closed session, I'll give an update from CAI on this. Yeah.
Okay, so I do have a lot of questions about this, but my question is, do we need urgent repair on these 35 items?
No, so
Okay,
there were no
that's-
life safety issues identified.
Okay.
If there had been, we would have had 15 days to
Right.
tackle that, yes.
Right, okay, thank you. So we can adjust our budget for that, I think, right?
Correct. You can adjust your budget however you wish to.
Right, good, thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? It's vote time, yeah. Let's vote. We accept the vote, good.
Yeah.
Now, last item on the new business. Entertain motion to approve resolution for election of officer. That is, we have a second vice president opening, so I'd like to seek a nomination.
Well, let's approve it first before we seek nomination.
Approve this first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just need a motion to open nominations.
Oh, open nomination, yes. Let's seek open
I'll
nomination.
second.
Moon first, and then Reza second, the open nomination.
Yeah.
Now, who's
We
going to
all
nominate
agreed.
who?
Vote, we all agree, I guess, right?
We got to vote.
Anybody?
After nomination is done, we open the nomination, then we can start nominating, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Reza, you nominate?
Yeah, I nominate Robert Muchnick for the second vice
Who's
president.
the second? Okay, so Moon second. So any question? No?
Robert needs to accept.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, good, thank you.
louder. You have to say louder. Oh, yes, I accept.
Louder.
Can you stand up? You can stand up too.
So Robert accepted. So any question or against?
No, you had more nominations. Got it.
Any nomination?
I make a motion to close nomination.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, second. Oh, you second?
Yeah.
So we vote?
Yes,
Let's vote.
by acclamation, nobody else.
Okay, we all vote.
Well, I abstain.
You have
No,
to
you can't.
abstain. You can vote yourself, right?
No,
You don't have to abstain if you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a new second vice president of Robert Muchnick. Thank you.
Okay, come sit here.
Thank you. Now your role is going to be really heavy, I think. Thank you.
Don't scare him.
Oh, no. Okay. Now, before we go, item 13, I think we need a 5-minute break.
Oh, really quick, I'm so sorry. We do have to have you guys approve the resolution, the appointment of officers. If Ruth wants to read that resolution, there's a resolution in your packet.
Oh. 12E.
You didn't approve that?
Yeah, you guys approved Robert and voted him on as the second vice president. However, we need a motion to approve this resolution.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution.
Okay. Steve, second.
Any discussion or anything? Then we
Oh.
approve.
So do we need,
Let's
read
vote.
this one more time? No?
Yeah, I would just need the board to vote or unanimously to approve
Okay,
it.
so
That's
we
it.
vote?
Perfect, thank you very much.
Okay, good, thank you.
We are legal now.
I thought let's just vote that one. Okay.
So under new business then, we need to revise the committee members?
I thought we vote.
We did already.
But I believe Brad is still on the list.
That would be for next.
Next meeting, right?
Yeah, at your agenda prep meeting, we'll have it updated to remove Brad.
Yeah. Is it clear now? Okay, good, thank you. So let's have a 5-minute break. We hold it too long, I think. Okay, let's go back to start. Item 13. A. Finance Committee, Dwayne, please.
Okay. Through the reporting period of September 30th, 2024, the total revenue for third was $36.2 million, compared with expenses of $32.9 million, resulting in a net revenue of $3.3 million, as you can see at the bottom of this chart. Slide number 2. In finance, we keep a close eye on the operating portion of our financial results. The operating fund shows a surplus of $283,000 through the period that we are reporting on today. This table shows how much of our revenue went into operations, with $20.8 million coming in the form of assessments and $2.5 million coming in the form of non-revenue assessments. This is compared to the operating expenditures of $23 million, and that is without depreciation. Okay? Number 3. The next table takes the full income statement and compares those results to budget. We can see the third ended the period better than the budget by $1.6 million when combining both operating and reserve revenues and expenses. Slide number 4. The most significant variance from the budget were attributable to employee compensation and related $723,000. That was a favorable variance, resulting from primarily in the landscape and M&C departments due to open positions, which we are still trying to fill. Impacted areas included ground maintenance, irrigation, paint, carpentry, and electrical. Grounds maintenance contracted a sub-bed maintenance to outside vendors for the pruning, weeding cycle as they continue to fill the open positions. Insurance, $722,000. This was one that we had a favorable variance, primarily in property insurance as a result of new joint policy with United that began on June 1, 2024. This merge lowers Third's premium for property insurance by sharing coverage. We are still exploring other avenues to reduce our property insurance. Investment income, $631,000. Favorable variance primarily from Treasury bills yielding a higher return than anticipated. Investment averaged 4.9% return compared to the budget 2.5%. With the Treasury lowering rates as they have, it's probable that we will not be able to maintain that 4.9% rate of return, so we'll be seeing our investment income go down. Outside services, $580,000. Favorable variance primarily in landscaping and maintenance and construction programs, such as landscape modification prior to paint landscaping, roof replacements, PVC cooling roof, paving, major asphalt repair, and copper piping replacement. Prior to paint landscaping began later than anticipated and is anticipated to end the year favorable. PVC cool roofing began later than anticipated and work is anticipated to be completed in November. Major asphalt repair work in the current year was deferred at the direction of the board. However, will still will instead consist of patching, cracking, and seal coating. Work has been completed, but vendor invoice is pending. Remediation was favorable due to timing. The work is anticipated to be completed in December. These favorable programs were partially offset by the waistline remediation project, where work began earlier than planned. Legal fees, $182,000. This was an unfavorable variance, primarily due to more resident-related legal fees than anticipated. Hopefully we can get those down. Fees and charges to the residents, $834,000. Unfavorable variance primarily due to less backlog revenue than anticipated for damage restoration cases. The anticipated revenue in the third 2024 budget was based on a sample of open damage restoration cases. The actual cost per incident was lower than the sample that we had used for that representation. So basically, because we had a delay in sending out notices of what was owed, the people who are coming in now and paying them are paying them for years past, and we are finding that that's not at the anticipated rate of $4,000. Okay, slide number 5. In this table, we present our non-assessment revenues earned to date by category and compare them to the current year's budget and the prior year's year-to-date actuals. Our largest revenue generating categories as of September 30th, 2024 were resident maintenance fee, investment income, and sales and leasing. Non-assessment revenue totaled $3.6 million through the reporting period. Slide number 6. In this table, we present our expenses to date by category and compare them to the current year's budget and the prior year's year-to-date actuals. Our largest expense categories as of September 30th, 2024 were employee compensation and related, outside services, and insurance. Expenses totaled $32.9 million through the reporting period. Slide number 7. The non-operating fund balance on September 30th, 2024 was $36.5 million. Year-to-date contributions and interest were $12.9 million. Year-to-date expenditures were $9.8 million. The ending balance for the period is inclusive of the 2023 operating surplus transfer from the operating fund to the unappropriated expenditures fund. Slide number 8. Here we compare the non-operating fund balances to historical fund balances for the past 5 years on this chart, which is averaged $31.7 million. Third, Laguna Hills has been committed to supporting reserve requirements and having more contingency funds for unexpected events. In this picture, you can see, in this chart, you can see the different colors that represent the different areas: replacement funds, disaster fund, unappropriated expenditures fund, garden villas, recreation room fund. You probably have trouble finding the garden villas recreation room fund on this chart because it's so small. It's that little tiny speck at the top of that column. Slide number 9. We have a slide here to show resale history from 2022 to 2024. Through September 30th, 2024, third resales totaled 280, which is 2 more resales than the prior year from the same time period. The average year-to-date resale price for a third mutual was $623,000, which is $87,000 higher than the prior year for the same period. Now, I don't know how you account for that, other than inflation. Okay. That's your report.
Any question? Yes, ma'am?
Okay, the last slide, resale history. It's reported to the mutual. I'm pretty sure it reported to United for United. But we don't get any benefit whatever our resale is. And whenever any sales, GRF are getting, some older monies there. So to me, the property is just to the mutual. Whatever our regulation, all that, bylaw, all that, and the GRF are getting through the mutual's resale benefit. We don't get any benefit. So does United. I like to look into it and what happened, why it is, and is there any way we can benefit from that? Thank you.
Basically, you're looking at $7,500 for each resale is what you're talking about. And that does not get divided up between United and Third, et cetera. So all of that money goes to the GRF.
Right.
That's the way it's been set up. So I don't have any further answer than that.
It's been set up that way by state law, that GRF charged the fee, and when they started charging the fee, we probably could have done something along the same lines. We did not. GRF did. Then the state passed a law that stipulated that those that already had that process in place, GRF in this instance, could continue that process, but nobody else could start that process. So, Moon, while I understand what you're interested in, we are basically out of luck. We do not get to share the $7,500, and we do not get to institute our own fee. That's just under state law. That's the way it is.
So, in fact,
Basically, you can.
You don't want to comment? Okay.
So
in fact-
basically, you can blame the state for that.
Right. So we, in fact, start having a united first vice president and president, and myself and Reza start having dialogue about that. So we don't know what the outcome will be, but we start having some dialogue. So please just pay a little bit
Be patient.
patient, and so we'll work on that one, so that our idea is lowering their assessment fee to individual, so that we can add that to our reserve fund. So we'll see how it goes. Yes.
Okay. So, state law, whatever law it is, seems to me it's not fair. So what I think is we gotta look into it. If needed to be changed, we should try to change it. But otherwise, we have other ways we can get some benefit. But I want to look at this straightforward first. If it doesn't work, I want to go sideways. So somehow I want to get some benefit out of this. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll see what we can do. Some dialogue started. Okay, thank you. Now, item B, report of Architectural Control and Standard Committee. Director Yun? I hope it's short.
Well, we discussed, the various, we approved the one of them was common area. We're gonna look into further. And otherwise, we'll have another meeting. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, otherwise we'll have another meeting and December 2nd. Thank you.
Okay. Now, see, report of maintenance and construction. Mr. Director Reinhardt went to GRF, so we do not have anything to report at this point. So, yes.
I have a question on the report on page 2 of 6. Fence repairs. The last sentence in the first paragraph said, staff will work with the finance department to fund a fence maintenance program during 2026 budget meetings. I'm wondering why we're waiting so long when some of the fences are deteriorating.
So, can we ask a question addressed to MSD committee? So I don't have the answer for that at this point, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so,
If Reza can take notes on this.
yes, take note. Okay.
And one other question was on the pilot program for washer/dryer replacement program. What location area are we talking about on this? Are we talking about high rises or third wide or what?
I do, yes.
They're talking about the whole village. There are 2 vendors that are going to be coming to United. We're invited as board members to attend those presentations. These 2 vendors are going to present proposals that they would take over all the washer dryers they would have. Instead of coin operated, they would have some other system in place, and that they would handle all the washer and dryers.
The existing ones.
Everything in
Yeah.
the village.
So I think we are invited to attend. What was the date?
October
The next
23rd.
Mondays? Something in that nature?
Said October 23rd.
It's
Yes.
this week, I can tell you here.
Yeah, I think we have, I don't know the date. So.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay, so tomorrow. We can attend that United MNC meeting. They will present their idea of 2 vendors. But one vendor first.
One
One
vendor is
vendor
coming,
first.
and
the
then the
second
next
vendor.
week
Is
there's
that
another
over here?
vendor
Second.
It's a meeting here?
MNC, so it
Yes,
should be.
it's
Yes,
at,
it is.
it's at 1:30 in the boardroom.
Yep, okay. So anybody interested that's coming in? Yes.
To address what Steve said, the fence repair for the third portion have done by spot checked and fixed. The rest of it is GRF responsibility, that it was transferred to them to take care of it along that road that you see on the report. That's GRF portion. The fence repair that you talk about.
So behind a residence.
Part of it
building,
is GRF.
That's all GRF now?
The part that belonged to us is that have been fixed or have been fixed, but the GRF, I'm not aware of it. I'll probably find out in the next MNC meeting for the GRF, that's what they do.
Okay.
Okay, any questions? No? Now, next item is report of landscape committee. Third Mutual Landscape Committee meeting was held on November 7, 2024, 1:30 p.m. in this boardroom. Department had update for project law, tree works, union workers training, and a quality monthly report. Committee discussed and considered the following: resident turf reduction incentives, which we were talking about a few minutes ago. Water conservation subcommittee dissolution committee decided to maintain as a subcommittee at this point. Number item C, committee determines slope 2025 scheduling for future agenda item, which means we will discuss slope contract, also the shrub contract as well. Tree contract as well. Committee closed the meeting over the 2025 slope and the tree maintenance contract. Today we'll approve that in the closed meeting, I think. Third, landscape committee next meeting is scheduled on Thursday, December 5th, 9:30 a.m. in this boardroom. Next item is report of Water Conservation Committee. Director Zaylen is off the Zoom, and also that committee has not met since April 25th, so we do not have anything to report. Item F, report of Resident Policy and Compliance Committee. Committee met last August. It has not met, but scheduled on November 27th. So we'll report a Resident Policy and Compliance Committee report next board meeting. Okay, that's it for our third board committee meeting. Now, item 14. Oh, before, anybody question or anything? No? So let's go to GRF committee meeting highlight. A, GRF committee, activity committee, Director Yun.
Thank you. Oh, there was many discussion about the fees, all that, but one thing I want to bring it up here is the equestrian. And I don't have the number exactly, but equestrian, there was no data how many people use the data. So if we calculated about 50 people are using it, they are benefiting about more than what they're paying for HOA due annually. So somehow we voted and all that, we're gonna drastically increase their user fee. And so I'm pretty sure we'll discuss it further than that. And the next meeting is scheduled December 12th. Thank you.
Item B, report of Laguna Woods. Oh, any questions?
To address, I was at the same meeting of the MNC, and I'd like to just add a couple of things to
Sure,
what
yes.
Director Moon said. The committee, MNC, the CAC committee of GRF approved a 30% share by the equestrian center people and a 70% underwriting by Third Mutual. That's what was approved by the CAC and sent to the board. That conflicts at the GRF board meeting. That conflicted what the finance committee had sent forward. So it's still under discussion. The total cost of the equestrian center is approximately $942,000 a year.
Okay, so I guess our two directors, Director Moon Yoon and Director Robert Wuchenek, need to work hard to get that thing going. Thank you to bring that up. I'm sorry. So, report of the Laguna Woods Village traffic hearing. A closed traffic hearing was held on October 16, 9 a.m. in this boardroom. Total 3 traffic hearing violations were reviewed as follows. 1, unpermitted electric plug in EV, guilty and fine. 1, not using carport, case dismissed. 1, parked obstructing access, guilty and no fine. Next traffic hearing is scheduled on November 20th, which is tomorrow, 9 a.m. in this boardroom. They will have 9 cases to review. I don't think they can finish within time limit they have. Anyway, so that's it for traffic hearing report. Item C, disaster preparedness task force, Director Yun.
I don't have a lot of things to report, and I think that the next meeting is scheduled in November, but we're gonna have another meeting in the next year. Thank you.
Okay. GRF, Maintenance and Construction, Director Reinhardt, but he's not here. But that meeting has not held since September 19th, so there's no report. GRF Finance Committee, Director Wayne.
Thank you. Yes, the meeting was on October 16th, 2024. There was no significant events during that meeting. Nothing was discussed that would pertain to us. And the next meeting is on December 18th of 2024 at 1:30 PM in the boardroom.
Thank you. Item F, Mobility and Vehicle Committee, Director Yun. No?
I don't have many things to report for the media and communication, and the next meeting is just January next year. Thank you.
Transportation. No, that's not the media communication.
Okay, item G, Landscape Committee of GRF Landscape Committee has not met since August 14 and December 11. We have a meeting scheduled. Item H, GRF Media and Communication, Director Yun.
I think Director Moon reported for the previous one, the mobility and vehicle.
Okay.
He reported on that. That was the one report that Dr. Moon gave. So for the mobility and vehicle, there was a meeting in, the highlight of that was the vehicle purchase specification that was discussed, and then the routes for the buses that they know the user are reaching the pre-pandemic numbers, and the most important one was transportation budget that was discussed, 1.3 million, 1.7 million. And the interesting statistic was on fixed route cost, monthly cost per user was $84.40. For the journey route, monthly cost per user, $109.59. And for the boost, it was $24.02. There were a lot of discussion about that. And my comment about that was that if the boost only costs $24 and is door-to-door service by the, Lyft, why we don't look at that more seriously? And maybe that would be a good option, that, is cheaper, door-to-door. And usually, if you have disability, they send the vehicle that can, accommodate disabled person. So that's part of the discussion, because the other cost, I understand this is a very important project for the whole community, but it's still, our job is to look at this statistics and number and see what's the best way to approach it. So that's a report on that one.
Okay, any question? Yeah, I think we spent lots of money for transportation department. Not only that, if you go the MSC department uphill, you see a lot of vehicles we have there. So we need to discuss why we have to spend that much money for the mobility and vehicles committee. Okay, thank you. Next item is space planning. We have not met since May 1st, 2024. We don't have anything to report. GRF Information Technology Advisory Committee, we have something to report on that one. GRF ITAC, which is Information Technology Advisory Committee, meeting was held on October 17th at 1:30 p.m., a closed web meeting. Advisory Committee overseeing the development and implementation of Microsoft-based Dynamic 365 software program, so-called ERP. Since September 1st, go live, we have successfully completed the ERP program for our first month-end close. And the second month-end close is scheduled for completion shortly. Our IT team has received a tremendous amount of the feedback from the end users, which has been invaluable in addressing the new program issues. The next phase of the project will focus on enhancing customer service, which is our residents, and the service management, which will further improve our ability to meet the need of our residents and streamline our operations. Now, new Laguna Woods Village website has been launched. Our new community website is launched, live with a fresh and modern look, and improved navigation for easier access to the information you need. The updated site includes secure password protected governance documents and enhanced the search function, making it simpler and faster to find what you are looking for. So please go and try out the new website. Next ITAC meeting schedule is on September 27 at 1:30 p.m. on web closed meeting. Reza Karimi and myself are the committee members. Thank you. And GRF Broadband Ad Hoc Committee, Director Muchnick, please.
Thank you. The Broadband Committee has met, and as you know, the whole infrastructure in terms of the cable system that we have has been in place since 1999, and the availability of parts to replace the head ends, et cetera, are just not available anymore. So we need to look into a new system. We're looking into fiber optics. The fiber optics will be run directly to every unit in the village, and we would use the trenching that we currently have to run that fiber optic cable. When we were smart enough back years ago, when they did the trenching, they actually put in two lines in the trenching. One that's the cable, and the other one now that's available to run the fiber optics. We're looking at an internet provider and also a streaming provider, so we would no longer have cable television in the village. It would all be streaming and internet. And the internet would be 2 gigs up and 2 gigs down without any loss. And the packages for the television would be a, what's not Dish, it's Direct TV, a package. And it would be part of your monthly assessment, and it would go up very slightly, but everybody would have 2 gigabyte up and down. And we now have gone through the process of having 3 different vendors submit actual formal proposals. The Broadband Committee has selected one of those proposals, and that proposal is going forward. The whole idea is to have our relationship with West Coast Internet, the current internet service provider in the village, ends December of 2025. The plan is to have this in place so that the new internet provider would take over, and we would have all of this work done. They're in the process of trying to set up the contract with these one provider and get this process moving forward. It's an expensive process. Total cost will be in the neighborhood of $20 million.
Whew. Thank you.
But if you amortize that over time, what's it come out to be? That
You are the finance.
Oh.
So
I figure that's going to be good for 20 years, right?
At least.
At least. Yeah, okay. So divide that by 20.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So it's only going to cost $1 million a year, right?
we'll see.
But there's income associated with it too.
Right. So next item is, any question or? It's a good report. GRF, Security and Community Access Committee, Director Karimi.
The meeting was on October 23rd. Unfortunately, I couldn't participate, so I have no report for that.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
Well, a comment actually on page 2 of 4 of that, where it says security statistics up to date. It says 50% of all citations written were failure to obey stop sign.
Right.
And I've almost got hit a few times because people were doing that. What are we doing to curb this? This has been going on for years.
I've been involved in a traffic hearing for at least a year now. Most violation is a stop sign.
Yeah.
And I've been emphasizing to everyone, do not, violate stop sign. Stop sign is very important. But yet, they're doing it. I don't know what the best thing to do. I just say it all the time very loudly about that.
We've got
So-
to have a program to take care of this.
So any good idea? I'd love to hear it.
Cameras.
But one of the things that they do in GRF do, they increase the fees.
Yeah.
I think for the stop sign now, if I'm correct, is going to up to $500.
No, 150 for stop sign, I think.
It's 150?
Yeah.
Something was going up very
Right.
high, but it was 50 before, now it's 150.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
also,
pretty a good chunk.
speed violation is going to go up significantly as well. Yes, Robert?
Carlos, I don't know if you know the answer to this or somebody else, but it doesn't seem, if this is the issue related to stop signs, that the lights around the stop signs haven't done very much.
No. That's correct. That's always been very controversial, but really how you target any type of traffic safety issue, it's called the 3 E's: enforcement, education, and engineering, right? So the enforcement part is what security is doing and citing those violators, right? And then part of the education piece comes along with paying the fine, going to the traffic school, that type of thing. And then part of the engineering side, not only roadway markings, but also one of the ideas that came up a couple of years ago was the lighted stop signs, which she said don't seem to have had much of an impact. It's difficult to measure, but there's been proponents and opponents of that project.
Well, when we look at the total number of violations, and so many of them are stop signs, and the stop signs don't seem to be decreasing since the lights were put around those stop signs, I've got to conclude, at least based on the evidence to date, that those lights around the stop signs are ineffective.
But we don't know the stop signs that are lighted is the one that, causes the problem or the other, because they don't have a statistic on that. I understand what you're saying. You even put a, dog by the stop sign to bark at people. If they want to run it, they will run it. The point is the education part of it, please. Because if you get caught and you get in an accident, you're not going to pay dearly.
Yes, Steve.
Okay, I kind of like the idea because there's been times where it may be twilight or dawn or something like that, where it's easier for me to see a stop sign. And I pay attention to that stuff, and I definitely like the what would you call it? The monitor of speed. I love those signs being out there, but I just wish they'd take a picture and get the violators.
Yeah, but I doubt that they still stop it, though. The people most people that just driving through.
Bada.
Yeah,
Bada is on the line.
Can we accept them? Yeah, let them talk. Please?
Hello?
Bada
Can you hear me?
family?
Yes, Kush, we can hear you.
Thank you. Sorry, my tablet is known as Bada family, but the point is that, Robert, your point was taken that these lighted stop signs are not doing what they're supposed to do, but they have nothing to do with stopping cars. That was put up for the visually impaired and people so that they are able to move around and know where the stop signs are. So it was not for the vehicles that move around. It is nothing to do with traffic. So sorry about that.
Kush, I appreciate your comments, but I would respectfully have to disagree.
You can talk, let Carlos chime in on that, but that was the original idea of the lighted stop signs.
Okay.
I think you might be confusing some of the bus benches and the stop sign projects, because the stop signs were for traffic safety purposes. It did go to SCAC, and that's where the discussion took place.
Yes.
Where hopefully somebody who's going to run a stop sign sees the lights and then decides not to, but doesn't always work.
Yeah. please
Okay.
stop at stop sign. That's all I can plead to everyone of third family. Stop before white line. It is very important because our mobility is reduced compared to when we're young. So we have to respect pedestrian stop before white line. That's all I can ask people to do. Thank you.
Maybe publicize it too, the increased fines.
Yeah, increase, I think it's going to be close to 150.
Put it in the breeze and,
Yeah. And it's going to be
Globe.
double when you violate within 3-year period. So
get the
that's
information out.
Yeah, that's it for today's board meeting. Any future item agenda? Do you have? No? Okay. That's it. And then let's go through the director's comment, starting from Director Yoon, please.
Oh, thank you. The gate arm, automatic arm, time to time is broken and give a lot of headache and delay and all that. Is there any way we can have that sensor a little bit further out or somehow before we hit that arm, break it?
Can I respond
Yes,
to
yes,
that?
yes.
Just for information, this was brought to me by a number of residents, and I looked into it. I contacted Head of Security Nunez, and I got back the following information. The arms and the mechanism are 5 years old. They receive approximately 13 million accesses per year. They're just not capable of handling that. So it's not that people are always hitting them. There are some instances where they are being hit. But the problem with most of the arms is that the internal mechanism is not sufficient for the amount of use that it's getting and the age of it. And also the software is also now somewhat problematic. So those are the two things that are actually contributing to more of the arms breaking down than it is people hitting it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did that belong to GRF or to us?
It's
the gate is belong to GRF.
GRF.
Oh, GRF. So
Yes.
we don't have much control. Second one is my question is, I heard that there's several thieves stolen and that, but how can we somehow curtail or prevent it stolen thief? They have a pre-access or resident are stealing our own or outside the people coming in?
I think that those
Carlos,
are the one that gonna go into the
give us
Security
good-
and Access Committee.
Right.
I mean, those that need to brought up, and the Security and Access Committee, they have reports on the theft, what they're doing. There are, there are points around the community that can be breached easier than the other parts, so they really patrolling those, foot patrol. So they're putting a lot of things in place, and not necessarily all of the theft issue is from outsider. There are some internal issue that we have to be aware of too. So we have to watch over our belongings more often and be more understanding of there might be, if you leave your wallet on the table and go, somebody might pick it up. Not everyone going to be honest to give it back to you.
Okay. I have a comment regarding those two items. Gate arm, when we implement project like that, we should thoroughly investigate, study all those instead of giving us excuse about how many times the visitors and so forth. To me, that's a very poor excuse. When we first implement those projects, VMS should investigate very thoroughly before that happens. That's my point. And the second point is a thief. The golf bag that somebody took happened at 4008, my building. And it was between 1 to 1 o'clock to 1:30 or 2 o'clock, that period of time. It cannot be outside. It should be somebody visit or inside. It's short period of time somebody took the golf bag. So we all residents, I'm asking, I'm begging, watch out, everybody, who is going to be a thief. We'll find out. We already reported that. Thank you. Now, next, Director Wayne. Please.
I have no further comment,
Okay,
thank
how
you.
about Ruth?
No comments.
Okay. Reza?
No comment, thank you.
Robert?
No more.
Okay. Steve?
Just one comment.
Okay. Okay, one comment?
Dealing with the arms and things like that, are we, as far as VMS, stockpiling or have spare parts available? Because it seems like whenever something goes down, it takes an inordinate amount of time to get a repair in.
Usually, it's not an issue of parts. Usually, we get those in pretty quick. Where we have the big delays is when they take out the entire mechanism, the entire motor. So what we are looking at right now, as a matter of fact, Chief Nunez is looking at carrying a replacement in the warehouse where we could plug and play. However, there's a warranty period that would start as soon as we receive that and would expire maybe by the time you actually use it. So we are looking to see if there is an option to house an entire mechanism or motor.
Well, there's another subtopic on this. Are all of the gates able to read your RFID and let you go through? I understand there's some that don't.
Yeah, for example, at gate 12, it doesn't do that. There is no gate, right? You're just going in, you're showing your ID. So, and also coming into Clubhouse 7, also that doesn't have a gate, but everything that has a physical gate does have RFID.
So if nobody is in the lane closest to the guard shack, you should be able to go through.
Absolutely.
I was told by one gate representative you couldn't do that. That's why I'm bringing this up.
Yeah, no, that's not accurate unless it's down. Sometimes somebody will go into another lane, will go into the guest lane, and that will delay it. Yeah.
Okay. Robert? You have? No? Okay. How about Peggy? Thank you all. Okay. So thank you. And open meeting is done. And let's go to closed meeting. We'll meet at 12:30. Thank you.